Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and we are joined here in Acapulco, Mexico by the one and only Terry Brock. And you're someone that every time I go on DTube, of course the YouTube alternative attached to the Steemit platform, every time I go on DTube, the first thing I see is your videos, and I've been seeing this for a while.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, and you do an incredible work of getting people aware of the platform and the potential involved in marketing and independent media, and just the being able to educate people, sharing photos, whatever it may be that might be your hobby. Steemit has so many opportunities. Can you go into how you found out about Steemit and where it kind of took you from there?
Well, I found out about it when I was watching Jeff Berwick and Anarchast, and he started talking about it. Then I heard others started talking about it as well, and I thought, this sounds really good, because my background's in media. My undergrad degree is radio, TV, newspaper, and doing that. And when I saw what's available on Steemit, and that it's decentralized, and there's no control, and you can put out there whatever you want, I go, oh, hey, this is really cool. And so I started getting into it, and I didn't do very well. I put a few things out, and I get a nice big 0, or maybe 3 cents, woohoo, and you're going, nah, this isn't any good. And then last year at Acapulco, I saw more people that were using it, got involved with it, saw more and more people that were doing it, started getting into it, and when I'd make like $20, I go, hey, this is really cool, and then a little bit more. And I started putting together and found out a formula. Because I like to do that, say, okay, what is it that works? What are the big building blocks to make this happen? And now I see it is phenomenal. I'm now able to take it and combine it with other things. That's what I would recommend for those that want to get started with it. Find what you're doing and build on those strengths. I'm a journalist. I write for business journals. We've got 43 papers coast to coast, about 11 million monthly page views. And so I get a chance to see a lot of people. And just, matter of fact, a story, just a couple of days ago, I was able to go to CES, been there with a big electronic show in Las Vegas, me and 175,000 of my closest friends. And I'm there covering it for the papers. I got a lot of letters, a lot of email from PR agencies. One of them happened to be from Alibaba, as in thealibaba.com. And they said, Terry, we would like to consider you to interview Kyo Zhang. He's the general manager for Alibaba.com. I mean, the guy in charge. And so I got to find out about it. They said, well, we want to meet with you first. Well, what I found out is they wanted to check me out. So I'm sitting at a table around all these PR people and Kyo Zhang too. Wonderful guy. Well, we got to talking, we're laughing, we're joking, we're having a great day. And they say, let's do it. And come to find out, that was his first ever English language interview. And so they selected me, and I thought, this is cool. Well, how does that relate to Steemit? I put it on Steemit. And I put it out there on Steemit and was able to leverage that so that people saw it on Steemit, and it did very well. I positioned it using DTube as well, because I love DTube, the decentralized tube. Put those together, and now I'm using that combination. So I would say for those that are watching, find what you're doing and build on combination of do this and that, and then grab that other little thing in there, put it all there, kind of like what you're doing, Josh. You're doing an amazing job with your videos. And by the way, those of you that are watching this, get to know his videos. They are incredibly good.
I appreciate that. Well, and it's been such an amazing thing for independent media, looking at the demonetization of a very centralized YouTube and a very centralized Facebook with the amount of censorship we're watching. And, people like myself making the same amount today as I was with 5% of the viewers, years ago, it discourages a lot of people, and we've seen a lot less, new independent media is rising up in the last year and a half or so. And I think it's such a beautiful thing to see Steemit coming up as a very easy alternative. Now, here's the thing. When we talk to people that have never heard of Steemit before and try to explain Steemit to them, it can get a little complicated. So, like explaining the payment structure, how it all works, how your upvote works, all of that. How do we get through to more people without, making them numb in the head trying to, actually comprehend what we're, trying to teach about a very complicated platform, but that works very simply?
Yeah, I think you raise a very good point, because there's so much out there. We can be an, oh my goodness land, and thinking, how am I going to handle this? And one thing I've been doing, and I would encourage those that are watching this, to go through my Steemit Success Series, where I've been able to talk to some really, really smart people who are doing very well on Steemit, and it's free right out there, and you just tune into that. I'm also putting together some courses now, so showing people how to do it, and that way they've got a systematic way to do it. Don't try to grab everything at once. This goes back to basic cognitive ability. How do we learn? I've been teaching technology for about 35 years now. And so how do you learn technology in something that is in, oh my goodness, I'm overwhelmed land, and make it understandable? You do it a little bit at a time. Trying to get it all at once gets frustrating, and then you give up. But do a little bit and get someone to help you. Get coaching, get help, and go through it, and then start having fun with it.
And I find there's quite a few marketing tactics that come into play when you want to get attention on Steemit. Of course, some people don't follow any marketing tactics at all and do very well, but there does seem to be a way to do it. I find with, for example, thumbnails for your posts, the tags on your posts. Using topical posts from the trending list on the main page is good. And then, of course, making your post valuable by providing a good product. So if you just write "I had a sandwich today" and post, then people might not be as into that. But if you say "I had a sandwich today, this was what's on it, this is where I got it, I recommend this, blah 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 blah," not that much work. People will say, "Oh, thanks for the recommendation, here's an upvote." And I find like there's many different types of people that can get on Steemit. I've noticed in the past it was like it's only a libertarian thing. Not really anymore. I'm seeing people like Sam Cedar, who is like an ultimate liberal on Steemit, and he's doing well. It's becoming more diverse, and that's exactly what we've needed for so long. But what do you say to the newbies on Steemit that will post content and it's valuable content, but it's not being seen? How do they get recognized?
I think there's three key ways you approach it. There are what I like to call the 3 C's of success in Steemit. The first one is content. You got to make sure that you've got really compelling content. Not just like you said, "I had a sandwich today." Yeah, we don't really care. But if you say this sandwich was here, it was good, and something that will relate to another group. Now, I see a lot of people like Allah's Yummy Foods. She does very well because she puts out good quality content about food and people that like to cook and doing that. So that's the first C, it's the content. The second one is community. If people don't know you, they don't know to say, "Hey, that's my buddy, I want to upvote him. I really want to do that." Because you look at him and people saying, "I'll upvote you, you upvote me." Well, it doesn't work that way. What we've got to see is some of that community, the people we know, the physical meetings like this, where we're getting together here, Steem Fest, when we get together for that, and other places do that. And then I think the third C is consistency. Be there regularly. If you do one post every 6 months, you're not going to go far. If you do one every month, one a week even, is not really enough. I'm finding, and I like what Jerry Banfield talks about, one a day. Now, I'm not up to one every day, but I'm doing most days, and I like doing that. I would say those 3 C's, remember that: content, community, and consistency. That's what I would say to someone who's just getting started. Stay with it and keep going after it, because at first it's going to be discouraging, but get to know people, learn, develop the skills, and be willing to part with the coins you have to learn that. I remember Tony Robbins telling me that once when I was talking to him one-on-one, and he talked about the importance of being able to part with your capital to get what you want. I love the way Ben Franklin said it. He said, "Pour the coins of your purse into your mind, and your mind will overflow your purse with coins." I didn't know that Ben Franklin knew so much about crypto.
Absolutely.
The coins is right.
Yeah. And strangely enough, Milton Friedman did too many years ago. And I just want to quickly mention my girlfriend, who has a great account on Steemit, who does posts of the day or facts of the day, where she didn't really have a lot to really post in the beginning, and she's thinking, well, what can I do to improve my account? And she thought, well, educate people, like do a fact of the day. It doesn't have to be super long. I just want to give a shout out, Stevie Lee, Leigh, so I don't have to sleep on the couch when I get home. But with that said, where do you see Steemit going in the near future, Terry?
I think it's going to continue to rise because we see trends that are out there. YouTube is becoming more and more restrictive, and it's okay. That's their house. They can tell people who they want in and who they don't want in. That's their thing, just like Facebook. But I think when we see the open environment with DTube, decentralized tube, that Ed Hyman Danger has done a great job on that, putting it together and all that he has done with that, and it continues to tweak and get better with DTube. I think Steemit is only going to go farther. And when we look at the Steemit media tokens that are going to now involve even more people, Ned is doing a fabulous job with that. And I think there's more and more reason for it. People are going to be a little bit discouraged from time to time. That's normal. But I would say stick with it, get a community around you, find out what to do, and get help. Get instruction from people that are really, really smart, that are doing this already. Learn from them. That's how we learn to do anything.
Absolutely. There is so much application use for the Steem blockchain. Just looking at DTube, Steemit, DLive, DMania. The D stands for decentralization for those that are confused. And there's only a couple 100,000, close to 500 to a million. I don't know exactly what the usership is at this moment, but that's a good thing. That shows so much potential growth for this platform. So the way I see it is some people might say, oh, well, I didn't make as much money today. Well, it is other people upvoting you and giving you that money and providing you that demand. And I would just say, you could post that same thing on Facebook and make $0. Steemit has provided such a great opportunity for so many people. I thank you for what you're doing on Steemit. Can you give our viewers a shout out for how they can support your work, support what you do, and find you on Steemit, of course?
Sure, and of course I want to say thanks to you as well, because you've got to see his videos. Watch them regularly. I find you do a great job, and I really appreciate what you're doing on that. And people can get in touch with me. I'm at Terry Brock on Steemit, and that's Terry, and Brock is spelled the right way, B-R-O-C-K. So at Terry Brock, and you can go over to my website also, terrybrock.com, and be able to see a lot more there. But I'd love to get involved with more and more people. And if you have a question, by all means, drop me a note. I try to answer everyone that I can. I miss some of them because sometimes there's just so many I can't. But I really read them, I pay attention to them, and I want to hear from you.
Well, it's always good to talk to you, Terry. I thank you so much for what you're doing for the Steemit community and to help spread the message of doing sound marketing, actually being able to be successful and doing things the right way. I think it's something that people need to be provided with the information for. There's not enough people really looking into the decentralized applications yet to the extent where we see on Facebook, Google, and a lot of marketing with other websites that aren't decentralized at all. So I really thank you for what you're doing, and it's always good to see you. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Josh.
Wow.